अभी तक जो हम बातें कर रहे थे नॉलेज पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से इंपॉर्टेंट थी, एग्जामिनेशन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं थी, ठीक है ना? तो आई विल बी ऑनेस्ट, ये एग्जामिनेशन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है। तो ऐसा नहीं कि वो आ नहीं सकते, बिल्कुल आ सकते हैं, चांसेस थोड़े से कम होते हैं और उसमें बड़ा मतलब क्वेश्चन स्पेसिफिक आएगा। ये आने के चांसेस वेरी वेरी मतलब मोर देन 90%। सेकेंडरी सोर्सेज ऑफ सेकेंडरी डेटा, बी केयरफुल, बी अटेंटिव। सेकेंडरी एक था प्राइमरी डेटा, अभी तक हम जितनी भी बातें कर रहे थे सारी प्राइमरी डेटा के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से कि खुद जाके आप इंफॉर्मेशन लेके आ रहे हैं, प्राइमरी डेटा। सेकेंडरी डेटा, अब secondary data is the data collected by other agencies and is used for further studies. The sources of secondary data can be broadly classified under two heads: published sources, unpublished sources. Secondary data, data collected by other agencies and which is being used by us for further studies. Published or unpublished sources. What are the various published sources? There are a number of national, government, semi-government, private, some national organizations and international agencies which collect statistical data in different fields like national income, population, prices, employment, wages, export, import, etc. These reports are published on regular basis, annually, quarterly, monthly, fortnightly, every 15 days. Varies, it varies. Published sources may be collected by national organizations, matlab Indian organizations, or international organizations. Important published sources of secondary data, very, very important question. List a few sources of secondary data, published sources. Number one, official publications. Official publications, you have to learn it. You have to learn it. Official publications of central and state governments, जो data government publish कर रही है. Government, both state and central, generally collects information regarding important economic variables like national income. GDP का data कौन share करेगा? Government share करेगी. Gross domestic product, national income, saving, investment, employment, and publish it at regular intervals. Some of the publications by the Indian government are annual economic survey, documents of 5-year plans, Indian annual book, census, government budget, that is also a document, published source of information. But कोई book नहीं होती वो, मतलब it is not a journal, but it is a document which is shared by the government. Semi-government publications, semi-government organizations like municipalities, district boards. Please example ये use करेंगे अगर है ना कि give a few examples of published data by the government agencies. So annual economic survey, documents of 5-year plans, Indian annual book, census, etc. Last census ठीक है आएगा अभी 2011 में last था, every 10 years होता है, ठीक. Important source of one of the most important source, one of the most detailed source of secondary data, published secondary data. Secondary data may be published or unpublished. अभी हम published की बात कर रहे हैं. तो government agencies, semi-government publications like municipalities, district boards, and other also publish reports in respect of birth rate, death rate, education, sanitation, and other related fields. Reports of committees and commissions. Central or state government sometimes appoint committee and commission on the matters of great importance. कभी होता है कि कोई इंसिडेंट हो गया तो कमिटी फॉर्म होती है, उनको बोलते हैं चलो रिपोर्ट बनाओ इस चीज पे, तो वो जो रिपोर्ट सबमिट करें इट इज अ पब्लिश डेटा, गवर्नमेंट का ही है. रिपोर्ट्स ऑफ कमिटीज एंड कमीशंस. They are required to inquire into a specific issue or specific issues and submit the report within stipulated time. कि थी यहाँ पे पानी बहुत जमा जाता है कि इस पे कमेटी बिठाए तो वो रिपोर्ट सबमिट करेगी क्या सॉल्यूशन है, क्या लोगों की दिक्कत है. These reports become source of secondary data. For example, Narsimhan committee report और पे कमीशन रिपोर्ट. एग्जाम्पल्स आपको याद करने पड़ेंगे. Very, very important concept from examination point of view. सेकेंडरी डेटा में पढ़ रहे हैं पब्लिश सोर्सेज। पब्लिश सोर्सेज में क्या पढ़ा? नंबर 1 ऑफिशियल पब्लिकेशंस ऑफ सेंट्रल एंड स्टेट गवर्नमेंट, नंबर 2 सेमी गवर्नमेंट publications, number 3 reports of committees and commissions, number 4 publications of research institutes. Many research institutes are engaged in academic research work and they provide important information, important source of secondary data. Some of the important research institutes are ICAR, Indian Council of Agricultural Research, ISI, Indian Statistical Institute, NCERT की बुक्स हम पढ़ रहे हैं, नेशनल काउंसिल ऑफ एजुकेशनल रिसर्च एंड ट्रेनिंग, they publish the finding, etc. ICMR, Indian Council for Medical Research, they publish the findings of their research, which is a constant source of secondary data on the subjects concerned. International publications, अलग से क्वेश्चन आ जाता है कि give a few examples of international publications as a source of secondary data. Certain international institutions publish their reports from time to time regarding economic matters which are of great significance. These reports are regularly published by agencies like UNO, WHO, IMF. तो WHO, कोविड में तो WHO ही चल रहा था, उनकी रिपोर्ट्स आती रहती थी कि कोविड केसेस कितने हो गए, किस कंट्री में क्या स्टेटस है, तो वो रिपोर्ट्स ही तो पब्लिश डेटा ही तो है, इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस की पब्लिकेशंस. Private publications, some commercial and research institutes publish reports regularly. They are like institutes of economic growth, stock exchanges को data share करना होता है, NSE को report देनी होती है, BSE, National Stock Exchange, Bombay Stock Exchange, National Council of Applied Economic Research, publications of trade associations, some big trade associations like ICAI, trade unions, etc. They publish data collected through their statistical research and divisions. Or सबसे common, newspapers and magazines. That is also a source of secondary data. Which one? Published source of secondary data. Various newspapers as well as magazines also collect data in respect of many social and economic aspects. Some of them, मतलब कोई भी newspaper के example दे देंगे आप, टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया, हिंदुस्तान टाइम्स, इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स, कुछ भी. तो मोस्ट कॉमन क्या हो गया? न्यूज़पेपर्स एंड मैगजीन्स. तो क्या थे ये? पब्लिश सोर्स. बहुत जनरल सा क्वेश्चन है, याद नहीं करा तो कुछ भी नहीं लिख पाओगे, याद नहीं करा तो एग्जाम में कुछ भी नहीं लिख पाओगे. यू हैव टू लर्न दी examples. You have to learn the examples. Give a few examples of published sources of secondary data. Published sources.